What's up, guys? Mower Medic 1 here, and today's video is going to be on this. I am going to be upgrading the lighting on my 2022 Spartan 48-inch mower, and I plan on putting a light bar up here, but I want the install to be pretty clean. I don't want wires and crap zip tied to the roll cage or nothing like that. We're going to feed the wires down through, and we're going to put them through a grommet. As you can tell, we already have a hole here from the factory, and it collects water, believe it or not. But I should be able to put some fish tape or maybe even some weed eater string down in here so that we can pull our wires through, and we're going to come all the way down to the bottom right here. And let me show you. Got the seat flipped forward here, and if we look, this mower has a pigtail here that's already got a connector. However, this is the connection for your accessories, i.e. a light bar if you want to put one on. But I want to make sure, I'm going to turn the machine on, and we're going to hook a voltmeter, so whenever I hit the light switch, we'll see if we get voltage to this connector right here. All right, let's hit the light button. And we got battery voltage. Hit it again. As you can tell, our polarity is reversed, so we know that the right side of the plug over here is going to be the positive, and this is going to be the negative right here. But I need to hunt down a connector like that. I want this to be as plug and play as possible. So the next thing I need to decide is whether or not I want to mount it on the cross or the bar like this, or mount it on top. However, as you can tell, the bolt is not going to go all the way through. So either I'm going to have to buy a bolt that'll go all the way through, or we can enlarge this hole to where I can get a socket and I can just put a nut right through that existing hole. If I can enlarge that hole just a little, I think that'll be our best route. Even though that's kind of where I wanted my wires to go through, and I was going to put a rubber grommet there, I still can probably do that. Kill two birds with one stone. This side through to be able to mount the nut that holds the light on. First thing I got to do though is I got to enlarge this hole just a little bit. I'm going to use my step drill, and since we don't have a whole lot of meat from this point right here to the top, we got to be super careful. And it's drilling real easy. That's some really soft metal. I'm gonna go ahead and unhinge my ROPS right here so that I can fold it down and we can work on it better. Oh yeah, that's a little better. I also want to design it to where you have just the right amount of cord or your power cable, so that it doesn't get wadded up in here whenever you are trying to fold this up and down. It's not that much of a transition from here to here, so I think just a 6-inch extra cord in here will probably do it. If not, we can always, where we mount the light and we feed the wire through, we can always have a little extra up in this area as well. I'm gonna go ahead and drill the 3/8, no, excuse me, it's gonna be about a 5/16 hole to mount the bolt for the light. And you know, just drill it as straight as you can. It don't have to be perfect, because when you pull it through and tighten it up, it's gonna self-align. Yes. Hey, look at there. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Anyway, there we go. Now we have enough room to put our socket through there, and we're going to run our wires through there with a grommet. Here's the reason I enlarged the hole, is so that whenever we come in through here, I can put a socket, and it's just big enough so the socket can pass through. I've got my nut. I'm going to set the light down here, and we'll tighten her up. I'm going to go ahead and install the little rubber pad. And that's going to be a tight fit. It looks like I need to ream that out just a little bit. All right, perfect. Let's see if we can start this nut. If you look close where the light mounts, the nut is actually going to be, or the bolt will be captured. So you don't have to have a backup wrench, but there's plenty of room in there, even if you had to have a backup wrench. And it's kind of hard doing it blind. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you there. Oh, what you don't want to do is lose your socket up in here. That would kind of suck. Kind of get it straight as you can. And you can tweak it after you get it cinched down. I left all the hardware loose, and what I think I should have done was I think I'm gonna run these wires underneath, poke them down through like this. So they're not going up over it, they're gonna go up under it. Well, I don't know. It might be better to go over the top like that. But anyway, there's two nuts and bolts that attach this to the bracket, and you can adjust this up or down, and you'll do that once you get it mounted completely and wired in. That way at night you'll be able to fine tune it. But from what we need to do now is figure out what we're going to do for a connector, because this connector obviously is not going to be long enough. What I may do is solder me some power lead to the end of this wire here and run that down the tube, and I may end up just cutting the factory connector off and just using this connector, since I have a male and a female from the light itself. We got a pigtail right here. May just do that. That'll save a trip to town. What do you think? Let's see if we can get this trimmer line down through there. There it is. Got to keep going though. All the way out the bottom down there. I went ahead and installed me a grommet. Now we can attach the power cord or whatever cord you're going to use. You just wrap electrical tape around this and then we'll just pull it through all the way to the bottom there. I've decided to not use these connectors. I don't want to hack up the connector that's already on the machine, so I'll just go to town and get one of those weather pack connections. Since I have to hack this up anyway, because you can't get that down in there. You're gonna have to cut it here and then add a length of cable. Alrighty guys, so I didn't have anything suitable in my opinion to run for a power cord. But I did find this trailer wiring cord at Napa. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to splice into the original with some of my shrink and solder connections. I'm going to get the heat gun and we'll get those soldered together and taped up so that we can pull it through the frame here. I'm gonna start pulling here and I'm gonna help it go through up yonder. Let's see what we come up with here. All right. Okay, let's see what it looks like up here. Go ahead and pull it on through. It looks pretty good. What I wished I had was one of those grommets that had the bladder to where you actually have to poke a hole in it to put the wire through. But we can pack that full of silicone and make it look pretty decent. That's gonna work pretty good just like that. Now I've got to finish feeding our wire down through the tube, down the bottom. And make sure it don't get kinked or anything. See, I was trying to twist up. You don't want that. Once you get it pulled through there, it'll straighten itself out. Use my finger here. Oh, excuse me. All right. We are finally through. That was a little harder than I expected. I bought a little bit more cable than I needed. Maybe if we can use it for another project. But what I want to check is see how this is going to react when I go to drop my ROPS. Oh yeah, it's not even gonna tighten it or anything. It's gonna be perfect. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, perfect. Now the other end of the factory connector had this little cover, which is the male portion, what I need, but it doesn't have any pins. So I went ahead and ordered some pins for this, but we're going to put the wires through there and hook it up, and we're gonna see if it works. And then once the pins come in, I'll do it correctly, but I just want to do this for demonstration purposes. I'll show you what I'm doing here in just a second. I'm gonna take and zip tie my power cord up to the existing harness so everything's tucked nice under here. I've got my power and my ground hooked up. Let's see here. 1, 4. Hit our light button. Boom. That looks pretty good. We'll wait till it gets dark here in a little bit and see how it looks whenever we're cutting the yard when it's pitch dark outside. Alrighty guys, hey, we got that little LED light installed. Works great and it's clean, looks good. Hey, if this content helped you out, give me a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. And while you're over there doing that, go ahead and hype this video and it'll help the channel out tremendously. Hey, y'all have a good rest of your week. More Medic 1.